Welcome to the Monday, October 18th, 2021 virtual session of the Lake Forest City Council. Will the Assistant City Manager please call the roll?
Certainly. Mayor Pandileon?
Here.
Alderman Morris?
Here.
Alderman Karras?
Here.
Alderman Rummel?
Here.
Alderman Notes?
No.
Alderman Preschlack?
Here.
Alderman Gashgarian?
Here.
Alderman Bushman?
Here.
Alderman Weber?
Here.
Mr. Mayor, all accounted for. You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm waiting for the flag, but I guess we'll go ahead. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need to make the following statement. In accordance with state statute, I have made a determination that it is not practical or prudent to schedule an in-person city council meeting because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which is why this October 18th, 2021 city council meeting will be held remotely. First item on the agenda is comments by the mayor. I just want to compliment Finance Director Holub and her staff for an outstanding presentation to the Finance Committee tonight. It's complicated, but she somehow makes it digestible in small bites. So, but the progress we're making on this police and fire pensions, the reserves, I mean, the city's in extraordinarily good financial shape. And that's to Director Holub's credit, but also, past councils going back many years. So next item on the agenda is comments by the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of City Council. Good evening. The only item I have is just an informational reminder for the community that we will be concluding our annual ward meetings next Tuesday, October 26th, with Ward 4, hosted by Alderman Bushman and Alderman Weber. That begins at 7 p.m. and we will continue to promote and remind the community that this year's ward meetings are being held virtually. So for those on the call tonight who would like to tune in, please stay tuned for some additional information. And other than that, that concludes my comments for this evening.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is opportunity for citizens to address the city council on non-agenda items. We'll post the phone number and give everybody a minute to either call in or raise their hand on Zoom. The number is 847-810-3643.
Mr. Mayor, we do have a raised hand in the audience.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Rami Lopat. And coming on Zoom tonight, I'm pretty sure that all of you know that I don't shoot from the hip when I testify about something. I make comments only after a lot of thought about whether I should speak up. So, out of curiosity, I spent this afternoon researching the city code of Lake Forest to read what the powers of removal are for an appointed officer, say a member of any board of commission or commission of Lake Forest. I found out there are written rules for the removal of an officer. Indeed, no officer elected or appointed shall be removed except for good cause or merit, and only after city council action following charges and even a trial. Most boards, like the one I'm on at the cemetery, don't have separate removal criteria, but some do. The mayor, with the approval of the city council, can remove a library board member for, quote, misconduct or neglect of duty. The HBC, for example, also has its own removal criteria. Its members can be removed by the mayor at any time for, quote, failure to regularly attend meetings or inattention to duties or responsibilities, end quote. Inconsistencies notwithstanding, there are codified reasons for removal from boards. I think it's important for us commissioners to know what the reasons are and what the definitions are. As you all know, volunteers get on commissions through the caucus system. We're interviewed at length, and then we're ultimately chosen by the mayor with the approval of you, the city council. Once we're on board, we're pretty much on our own without much, if any, training and direction, such as on the Illinois Open Meetings Act. We need help from the caucus, from city council, and from city staff with all of that. But for sure, let me say that any action or message that has a chilling effect on enticing residents, especially women, to step up and take part in civic life is to be avoided. My advice? Calm down any brewing storm, Mr. Mayor and City Council. It will do Lake Forest and public participation a great deal of good. Thank you for your attention. Good night.
Thank you. I would actually like the city attorney to comment for the record on this point that was just raised.
So I'm not really sure what the legal issue is. I think that the city code is very clear on the procedures and the criteria for removing certain officers and also non-officers that might be serving on commissions. So to the extent that there is separate specific language that applies to the removal of a particular commission member, I would point to that language. That's what's going to apply. So as an example, removal of an HPC member would be subject to the procedures and the criteria set forth in that particular section of the code. Similarly, removal of a zoning board member would be subject to the provisions of the city code for removal of that. There is a general provision that would apply if there is no specific provision. And that's how you interpret whether it's a city code or a state statute.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is committee. If there are no other raised hands or calls.
We have no other callers at the moment, Mr. Mayor.
Great. Next item on the agenda is report from Finance Committee Chairman Jed Morris. You're muted, Jed.
It's hard to see that down in the corner. So we're going to talk about the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. And as we noted in the Finance Committee that we just finished, our finance team has done an outstanding job of preparing budgets on a continuing basis. And again, this year we have an award from the GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, for the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for fiscal year 2022. The award is granted for the 6th consecutive years. And it's really a testimony to Director Holub and her staff as to what they're able to achieve in presenting that. And I always like to, when we talk about this, remind people that this particular statistic, which is that there are 89,000 units of government in the United States, and only 1,702 or 1.9% of all of those receive this budget presentation award. So it's quite a testimony from the GFOA on the quality of work that our finance team has been doing for us. It also entails a certificate of recognition for budget preparation. And this year we're prepared to, that award is going to Elizabeth Hollett, Director of Finance, for her efforts in coordinating the preparation of the annual budget and for leading the efforts in making the required changes to the city budget document to meet the GFOA Budget Awards program. So congratulations to Director Holleb. I can't provide the virtual certificate, but I think there's one that will be in your office for you to put on your wall. So thank you very much. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you. And I'm not sure how many members of the public are out there watching tonight, but there is on the city's website and through the app, there's access to yet another budget document or budget system, I guess it is, called the Popular Annual Financial Report. I think I got the name right, which is an extraordinarily easy to use, easy to drill down, very comfortable thing for non-professionals to use. And it's something that Elizabeth has championed. And frankly, I've never seen anything like it in, in other communities that I've researched in the course of my business. But it just shows that this award is just sort of for the basic reporting, but there's a lot more that's being done and is done to make the city's finances as transparent as possible. And I would encourage people to just go in there and play around with that Popular Annual Financial Report tool, because it's remarkably straightforward to identify expenses and then drill down and look at the details and trends and so forth. So kudos to the finance chair, or to the finance director and the staff, and did it again. Next item for on the agenda is items for omnibus vote consideration. There are 7 of those tonight. First is approval of the October 4th, 2021 City Council meeting minutes. Second is acknowledgement of receipt of the fiscal year 2021 Treasurer's Report. Third is award of a contract with Advanced Tree Care for an amount not to exceed $47,000 to extend MPI tree pruning services for tree pruning in fiscal year 2022. Fourth is approval of a 1-year contract renewal with Interdev for information technology support in the amount of $130,200. Fifth is the approval of a 4-year agreement with Kaplan Snow for building sidewalks, snow and ice services included in the fiscal year 2022-2025 operating budget for the sum of $240,000. Sixth is consideration of ordinances approving recommendations from the Building Review Board, first reading, and if desired by the City Council, final approval. And seventh is consideration of ordinance approving a recommendation from the Zoning Board of Appeals, first reading, and if desired by the City Council, final approval. Are there any questions on any of these matters, or any that any alderman would like to see taken separately? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the omnibus items as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Assistant City Manager, please roll call vote.
Certainly. Alderman Morris,
Aye.
Alderman Karas,
Aye.
Alderman Rummel,
Aye.
Alderman Notes,
Aye.
Alderman Preschlag,
Aye.
Alderman Gashgarian,
Aye.
Alderman Bushman,
Aye.
Alderman Weber.
Aye.
That's 8 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Last item on the agenda is additional items for discussion, comments by city council members. Any member of the council would like to speak about anything we haven't discussed tonight? Alderman Weber.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Just two quick little kind of public service announcements. I just wanted to mention trick or treating. If someone could just comment on confirm the hours for that. I think it's important for everyone to know and be ready for hopefully a perfect weather Sunday. And the other thing I wanted to mention was I know the Lake Forest Caucus, it came up earlier here that they'll be recommending some individuals, and I believe they have a meeting, informational meeting with some of those candidates on November 2nd. So more information on, they can follow up with the Lake Forest Caucus on that.
Thank you.
I'm happy to jump in just to answer or to clarify our Alderman Weber's point about trick-or-treating. So trick-or-treating hours will be on Halloween from 4 to 8 p.m. We will publicize, I think, as probably in this Friday's e-news, some cards that we may develop, sort of red and green cards that people can post on their doors. to notify trick-or-treaters whether they are participating in trick-or-treating this year. So more information on that for the public this Friday, and then we'll continue to push that out between now and Halloween.
Thank you. Alderman Notes. You're muted.
Just to elaborate on Alderman Weber's comments about caucus, obviously is an integral part of the functioning of our government. For any interested parties watching tonight, it's my understanding the caucus has an open house tomorrow night at Gordon at 7 o'clock, and I would certainly encourage anyone who's interested in the process to attend.
Great, thank you. Other comments from the council members? Okay, there being none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you all.